50,000 transactions, and those transactions were costing $1.50 each on the traditional transfer agent system. So $75,000 to do those 50,000 transactions, all of which went to the expense ratio of the fund, versus we did the same 50,000 transactions with you on Stellar for $1.13.
That was Danielle Dixon of Stellar speaking with Sandy Cowell, head of innovation for the $1.7 trillion company Franklin Templeton, discussing how Stellar's technology is saving Franklin Templeton so much money in transactions. We're going to talk about that story as well as some other stories that are going on. Right now, we're discussing the Clarity Act, CBDCs, Coinbase announcements, some new announcements coming from Ripple. I'm going to put on your guys' radar, and just something towards the end. We're going to talk about the evolution of a product when you release a product. There's different stages you have to go through. So once you have the 10 steps upon releasing a product, you'll understand where we are at in that process. So when we start looking and thinking, why isn't this project taking off? If you stick towards the end of the video, we're going to discuss how this really works when we look at companies releasing products. So once you have that understanding, I think you'll feel better about what's going on in the market around you, especially after these news stories we discuss. You're going to see how close we are to true adoption, guys. So hang in there. This is a positive video. This is an exciting time. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first story is going to come from the Stellar Development Foundation, of course, and this is going to be the one that comes to us from Sandy Cowell and Danielle Dixon. So check it out here with me. It says Franklin Templeton saw the potential of blockchain traditional finance long before it was the norm. The proof, moving 50,000 transactions on the Stellar network, reduced costs from $75,000 to just $1.13, a glimpse of what's possible when legacy institutions embrace new infrastructure. So when we think about a company such as Franklin Templeton announcing to the world what they saw by using Stellar, don't you think the other institutions will want to get on board as well? To me, that's another flag to other investors and other companies like, hey, this technology is legit. We are ready to go with it. If we're using it, don't you think you should as well? So I wouldn't be surprised if you hear bigger announcements coming out towards the end of this year that more institutions are announcing their success working with these kind of companies and these kind of projects as well. And as we move to the next story, this is going to be about Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, the SEC, Paul Atkins. And as I move through the story, I'm going to point out different timelines. And I hope you see by the end of this little section here, you'll see that this stuff kind of seems to be planned and it seems to be perfectly aligning as they need it. So check out what I'm talking about here. I find the timeline fascinating, and especially when we look at what they're talking about. So check out this post from Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, and the timestamp is June 15th, 2026. Check it out with me. It says, I think it's time to revisit accredited investor laws in the US. Companies are staying private longer when only accredited investors, aka rich people, as he's not himself, right, can invest. Retail investors can only come in after IPO when such of the upside has already been captured, which is a great thing. But when we look at this timestamp. This is now June 16th, 2026. And this is Cointelegraph talking about SEC, Paul Atkins. So it says, SEC Chair Paul Atkins says the agency is overhauling its public company regulatory framework to make IPOs more accessible to everyday investors. The SEC is working to make IPOs great again. And then over here from Brian Armstrong, June 16th, the following day from his post, check this out. It says, for the first time, these are real one-to-one backed tokenized stocks you can trust. You own an actual chunk of a company on chain. Other current solutions are some form of derivative or IOU, not the real ownership. And you can see from their post from Coinbase, it says the first real one-to-one backed tokenized stocks are coming. Own actual tokenized stocks of US companies, trade, hold, and redeem all on chain, automatically receive dividends. And then from here, we have Coinbase as well, June 16th, or Cointelegraph, June 16th, 2026. It says Coinbase rolls out its SEC-registered AI-powered investment advisor, offering real-time portfolio analysis and automated tax loss harvesting to Coinbase One members. To me, it's almost like Brian knew what was going on with the SEC's new announcement, and they seem to be ahead of the game. So this is what I'm trying to point out to you guys. you, as a company, you just can't roll out a product like Brian just announced without knowing that it's coming and it's going to be good to go. So they've been aware of this information for quite some time to be able to build this out, have a release date that happens to follow the same time that the announcement comes out from Paul Atkins. If you think that's a coincidence, I'm here to tell you that it's not. They know what's going on, right? And before we move into the next stories, which is going to be about the Clarity Act, MiCA, Ripple, and then, like I said, towards the end, we're going to do the breakdown of this 10 steps from bringing a product out. I want to bring this to your attention, especially if you are somebody that's been a part of the channel for a while, or if you are new, you've been here a couple of videos, 2 or 3 videos. I want to bring this to your attention because I want the most participation in this as possible. So check out this post I put out yesterday on YouTube, and I'll put the link to the post down here so you can access it should you want to participate in this. But check it out. It says, question: if I were to go live, would you participate? I have a few updates on the channel and the direction it is headed. And then you pop it up in here. It says the more feedback, participation, the better. I want the channel to be community driven. And it's going to be on Tuesday, June 30th at 1 p.m. Central Time. And out of 22 votes, it looks like 3 people have said no, which is completely fine. But I'm bringing that to your attention because I'm trying to direct this channel in a different way than I have in the past. I'm getting a better groove for it. And I want your feedback during this live to see what are you guys looking for in the market as well. And I also want to make this my quarterly announcement where I do my donations for you guys that are aware of this channel. I do mental health awareness, so any kind of proceeds from affiliate links or super gifts and thanks and the memberships, all those things go to NAMI for mental health. So I want you guys to be a part of that, and I also will release that live as a video should you not be able to make it. I get it, during the week, during the day, some people can't make it. That's totally cool. But if you can make it, please consider joining that live. I want to bring that announcement out live. It's going to be fun. And if you are here, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you like this kind of content where we bring you facts and a different way to look at the crypto market. Now let's get into the next stories, guys. This is going to get into the Clarity Act, CBDCs, MiCA, China, so much to come here. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is going to come from Crypto News on June 16th, 2026. Says, just in, Binance targets MiCA Alliance approval by June 30th. For you that don't know, Binance is trying to get this MiCA Alliance. They're actually having a problem approving that or getting that approved. We'll see what comes of that. But it looks like they have until June 30th. And if you watch my video from yesterday, which is this video here, we talked about how we are seeing this shift with MiCA, they have 2 weeks to get MiCA approved if you're a crypto company. So that's something to be aware of. It looked like Binance is trying to get in for the cutoff time. But let's move on to the next part, which is more about the CBDCs, Clarity Act, and all that. So let's get into that. It's going to come from Coin Bureau on June 16th, 2025. Check it out. It says, now Senator Cynthia Lummis and bipartisan group of senators are using Treasury Secretary Bessent, Treasury Secretary Bessent to clarify the state certification process under the Genius Act. They warned that without clear timeline and requirements, states could be effectively shut out of the process. Then right over here from CoinVo, we have exclusive. U.S. House and Senate have signed a deal to block the Federal Reserve from issuing a CBDC until 2030. Until 2030, there's no CBDC. Great. But you're still going to be using a stablecoin that essentially functions as a CBDC. Yes, the ownership is different for people that want to let me know down in the comments. Yes, that is a different ownership, but the functionality is still there, guys. They can change the name from stablecoin to CBDC and put it from a private entity to the federal entity very quickly. So keep an eye out for that. And this is going to be the next part of it. We're going to get into moving to bigger announcement. This is going to be more global announcements, and it is going to tie into Ripple. We have Africa, we have China moving in. So check these next couple of posts out, and let's put all these stories together and think of the perfect timing that we are seeing this unfold. This is going to come from Nick at Crypto Crusaders on X. If you don't know Nick, please give him a follow on X and on YouTube. I don't know the guy. He just is very solid in what he does, and I do think he brings a lot of value to this space. So go ahead and check out this post with me. It says, this changes quite a bit of things on the table right now. The most important thing is changing the Clarity Act timeline. This has just added a significant amount of pressure to get it done ASAP. If the U.S. wants to lead in digital assets and technology behind them now, not later, it's time to pass the Clarity Act. Technology doesn't wait for the green light, and countries like China are not waiting either. The great crypto tech race is on and things are about to accelerate quickly. And what he's referring to is this post from Cointelegraph that says China's digital yuan operation center signs agreements with 26 financial institutions to expand cross-border payments and push global adoption of the digital yuan, per Reuters. Okay, so now we have China joining the digital asset race, which they've already been developing. They've just been really quiet about it. Hong Kong, we already have establishments there, right? But what's interesting is there's now official announcements coming out about it. What I'm putting all this together, I'm seeing that right now, currently, the American president is over in France and the EU for the G7. Negotiations are going on with Iran. By Friday, we're supposed to see that deal being signed, which we have an update I'm about to give you here in just a second. I find it perfectly timed that we're seeing global announcements of adoption for blockchain for crypto and these different projects, right? And to give you an example of this, we just talked about this China announcement, but look at what Ripple is doing with Africa. And understand, again, when I was telling you about Brian Armstrong and the SEC, that this is all perfectly timed, and they make it seem like, oh, look at this new announcement, but they've been working with stuff. They've been working on things behind the scenes for quite some time. And as we go through these next couple of stories here, you're going to see what I'm talking about. We're talking about going back almost 8 to 10 years. They've already been working on things that we are seeing announcements of now. So check it out. This is going to come from Cointelegraph on June 16th, 2026. It says the latest. Ripple acquired a stake of Flutterwave, valuating the African fintech firm at $3.3 billion. Which is great to see. Of course, we are seeing that we are getting this global adoption, Africa stepping in. But when you look at a post from September 19th, 2018 from Ripple, it says RippleNet now reaches 40 countries, improving remittances and SME payments. But what I want to highlight is as we go down here, it says, as of today, RippleNet, which is Ripple Pay, is active in over 40 countries across 6 continents. Ripple is global and has been global, guys, since all the way back in 2018. They've been talking about this. And it says a new payment corridors have opened up in North America, Asia, Africa, Europe, South America. This provides new access to better international payment services in markets where remitters and SMEs are in the most need. But what you want to look at is this right here. Check that out. What a coincidence, right? It says Remitter and Flutterwave established a RippleNet corridor to Nigeria from Canada, the first connection of RippleNet into Africa. And then over here we have from Chart and RTA, it says Squid Router has integrated rlusd, connecting the $1.6 billion stablecoin to 100 plus blockchains and over 20,000 assets via a single router layer. Users can swap USDC, USDT, ETH, and XRP directly into rlusd without bridging. 5 XRP protocols have already been integrated into Squid. Then over here from ChartNerd as well, it says probably nothing, Ripple, Convera, Swift. Convera unites Ripple and Swift into a multi-rail payment engine, now backing traditional Swift messaging rails with Ripple's on-chain stablecoin sandwich model and liquidity. So we get an announcement that Ripple is getting a stake in Flutterwave for $3.3 billion, but they've been working with the company since 2018, right? They've been testing out Ripple's product for quite some time now. And now we see this as it's news, right? It seems like this was a lot of testing, which, by the way, is about to tie into our 10 steps in rolling out a product to the market that we're about to cover. So don't forget about that, especially if you're wondering why the price action does not match what you see in these headlines, right? This is going to explain that very well, in my opinion. Before we move into that one, though, I just want to throw this on you guys' radar because I know a lot of people are looking forward to Friday for the signing of the Iran and American war situation. But of course, as we talked about, I think it was on Monday when we had this video, we're saying just be wary of it just because anything can happen. It's not officially signed. Anything can happen, of course. And going back to the Ripple situation with Ripple and Swift, if you watch yesterday's video, again, where we're talking about how Swift has a new executive there that could have possible ties to Brad Garlinghouse with both working at AOL. Michael was walking in as Brad was leaving AOL, working with that company. So that was kind of interesting to see this new announcement with Swift and Ripple, right? Anyways, let's go into this other story. I went on a side trail here, but let's go into this next one from Coin Bureau coming out June 17th, 2026. This is an important one to keep your eye on. So it says, breaking. Trump says that the MOU with Iran is not final and warns that if I don't like the agreement, we will strike again. We will go back to blank at them and dropping blank. So we are seeing that this isn't officially signed yet. It is something to be wary of. It's something you definitely want to keep on your radar. And don't forget, here in America, Friday is going to be Juneteenth. So we're going to see the banks being closed. Just keep that on your radar. So if things don't go accordingly that we may have thought, let's not get too worried about that, right? So we're going to move into the 10 steps in bringing out a product. So give you my background. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have a financial background, but my background is in sales and development with Fortune 500 companies. I rolled out products, I get it into the market, grow market share. That was my profession for the longest time, right? So as we do that, we're going to apply those stages to how you would bring out a crypto project. And once you have a better understanding of the different layers and steps you have to go through to bring a product to market, I think this will help you understand where we are in the process. And keep in mind, we've been seeing a lot of this technology being tested since 2017, 2018. So we are well underway into 10 years of testing this product in a rollout stage. So keep that in mind already as we move into these slides. I will move quickly, guys, because I know it's a longer video, but I just want to bring all this out to you guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. So check your screen out with me. It says, number 1, problem validation stage. Question, does the problem actually exist? So is this something we need, right? So 2, solution validation stage. Does the solution solve the problem? Simple thinking, right? It says 3, minimum viable product, MVP. Can the product work in the real world? Which again, since 2018, we've been seeing this technology being tested in the real world. And steps 1 and 2, we know are indeed both valid. And then we need number 4, technical stress testing. Can the system scale? So we have a real world product. We've been testing on a small scale. Now we're going to a larger scale, which we've already done as well. And then number 5, product market fit. Do people actually want it? That's a silly answer. We know people want it, as we just heard from Franklin Templeton and Stellar, right? Then we have number 6, commercial validation. Will people pay for it? Yes, people will pay for it. As you see, it's worth paying for it, right? If you saved nearly $69,000 or $74,000, yeah, it's worth it, right? And then you have number 7, network effect stage. Does every new user make the network more valuable? Again, as they bring on the right clients, yes, it's going to make the network more valuable. And this doesn't just apply to Ripple or Stellar. This is any kind of project you're looking at. These are the things you need to think about as you're reviewing the project. This is the fundamentals you want to be aware of, right? So number 8, institutional adoption stage. Will large organizations trust it? BlackRock's in it, right? They seem to trust it pretty well. Then number 9, ecosystem expansion. Can others build on top of it? Absolutely. We just heard from Ripple that they're connecting all these different countries and these different projects, Wormhole, Axelar. So of course, yes, there's a lot of building with this technology. Then number 10, important, market dominance. Has the product become critical infrastructure? So this is where we're at now. We're at number 9. We're at 8, 9, and 10. I think we're moving from 8. We're in 9. We've been in 9 for a while. And number 10 is, I think, where we're really at, which is the home stretch. So we're looking at market dominance becoming a thing. And with this announcement with Stellar and Franklin Templeton, that is market dominance. When you, as a institution or a company, you see that you can save your balance sheet thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're going to do it. And that's going to make that market dominance with the right crypto project. And that's why in this space, education is everything. Research is everything. Do not distract yourself with the headlines. Do not chase price action. Just educate yourself and then invest in the companies that you know are going to be revolutionary. And at that point, you're not wondering, did I make the right move? You're asking, when does it pay off? Because your conviction is so strong, you know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And as you can see here, we are actually pretty close. We're in the final stages of product adoption, rolling out on a mass scale. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this longer video. I know it was long-winded, but I definitely want to get this information to you guys. There was so much to catch up on. And if you did like this kind of content, please hit that like button. Leaving a comment down below, a simple thumbs up, guys, goes a long way. And if you like this kind of content, again, where we bring crypto facts and we give you a different way to look at the market and crypto as a whole, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you part of the channel. Before I let you guys go, take care of yourself. Take care of the people around you. Become the change you want to see in the world. I will see you on the next one. Thank you guys for hanging out.